We really had no idea what we were doing. There's no manual or guide that says how to do a musical, and we'd never, either of us, done one before. So it was kind of like we weren't sure how to start, and we didn't actually have a script. So we just decided, well, let's start working on songs, and then we'll just go from there.
And what was that like working on songs with Tim?
Well, it was great. I told him, just tell me the story a little bit at a time, and just like you were telling it to like a nephew, at the fireside or something like that. And, he would just kind of like, well, and he'd get all animated and describe the scene, and he had, of course, the drawings and put in front of me, and he would tell me what's happening, and I'd go, okay, yeah, okay, I get it. Leave. And every song took about 3 days to write. It was really fast. In like 30 days, we had 10 songs.
Do you remember what the first chorus or melody or first lyric you came up with was?
We went in order.
Oh.
So
it would be like, this is the beginning of the movie, a song should be somewhere around here, and you'd be like...
Did everything completely in order. Just like, let's talk about the very beginning. This is Halloween. It's like, okay, now Jack is basically wandering out, and he's lonely, and he's going to wander to this kind of, and he showed me the shape of the kind of the peak he was on, and he's going to sing about how he's looking for something else, and like that. I said, okay, got it like that. And then I go, okay, so now Jack is in the forest, and and we just kind of went through it piece by piece. We really didn't know how much of the story we were going to tell in song. We knew we didn't want to approach it in the standard Disney musical format. That was basically 5 songs, maybe 6 with, you've got each song defines a different kind of a song that's supposed to happen. We didn't pay any attention to that whatsoever. And we knew that we didn't want it to sound like Broadway. So all the influences had to come from somewhere else. I wanted it to sound like it could come from any era, that it could come from the 30s or the 50s or the 90s, or it didn't make any difference. So I tried to look for all kinds of different influences of mine, except Broadway. That was the one thing I really didn't want it to sound like Broadway or like a contemporary musical.
Did you have Broadway influences as a composer and as also a songwriter at that time?
Well, yeah, I didn't like Broadway.
that being the enduring influence of Broadway on you.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So it's like, okay, now we know what we don't want it to be. Now what do we want it to be? And that was a much more difficult question.